And to summarize, it's either one or the other. It's like the people who are focusing on the money end up losing themselves to money. And then they try and buy back their money. They use their money to try and buy back the awareness with the heart. By giving, by, trying and buy back the awareness with the heart. It's a crazy world we're living in, how we sell ourselves to money, but then try and buy back our truth with the money. It's crazy. It's really crazy. We sell ourselves to money and then we try and buy back truth with money. We look around the world for wisdom, for truth. We look around, we follow gurus, to try and use our money to buy back this wisdom, when the truth from the start was to find peace within balance, to have enough, but not take too much, to work, but to also give time to the truths in our life. What are we truly doing that's good for us? You think working all this is so good for our heart's awareness to grow within a more of a divine loving sense? How much are we giving, or are we always just taking? There's some deeper questions which we need to ask, because if we're only serving the program, and the program is based around obsession, being obsessed with something, being obsessed with being successful, being obsessed with having this image of ourselves, obsessed with our expectations of who we need to be. When we're obsessed, we're just serving the program's agenda. When we can start to come back to our true originality, which is we are already infinite imagination. We just need to align ourselves with our own divine connection with infinite imagination, and we will naturally manifest into that infinite imagination. We can start to give time to our own infinite imagination and blossoming into our infinite imagination. But when we're not blossoming into our infinite imagination, we're being programmed into the agendaed mind, and we're being programmed into the world and being programmed into the perception that we're perceiving, chasing money, chasing this perception, chasing this expectation. We're not blossoming into our true self. We're living two opposite lives. Look at someone who chooses to do something with their heart. They're going to blossom into that reality. Choose someone who's just thinking with their mind and the obsession of what the mind is setting the image of, and you're going to go in that direction. Which direction are you going in? That's the truth. Is like, which direction are we going in? Are we blossoming into the direction of the heart? Every single moment we're manifesting into our own perceptional reality. If we're listening to our heart, we're going to blossom and we're going to grow in that way. We're listening to the mind, we're going to grow in a different way. And depending on which way we grow is the karma which we will end up calculating into. And for the people who are just taking from the world and with this obsession of who we're going to be, not who we're actually becoming, who we're going to be, what we're going to become into, what we're working towards, we're really not going anywhere. This is the illusion. Maybe in the mind, we're doing all these things and we're accumulating everything and we're doing everything. We're having all these experiences. We're having all these stimulants. But on a quantum perspective, we're not elevating. We're actually sinking. And this is how a lot of us come to rock bottom. Is they realize that they've sunk so far down that they've hit something. And that's the sense of reality. That's the sense of truth that something isn't right. When we can start to think with our hearts and grow with our hearts and grow intentions from truth and love and justice, we can actually start to, elevate our awareness, elevate and connect to a greater sense of reality, a greater sense of truth, a greater sense of love, a greater sense of happiness, which doesn't truly correspond with our minds. Our minds are so programmed on something that's stagnant. It's a program. It's stagnant. It can't grow. The program doesn't grow. It accumulates. That's the truth. The heart, on the other hand, it not only grows, but it connects. It blossoms. It is the infinite imagination of existence, the heart's awareness. We are all so much greater than the perception of our mind. The heart's awareness is the truth of existence within existence. Ciao.